Alright, what's up guys? New deck profile today. It's my favorite deck of all time, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm using a variety of cards that have just come out in the recent set Phantom Rage. I actually think they will help the deck significantly. You can see them as I lay them out here. This is a going second version of the deck just because I think Blue Eyes going second is extremely scary just because every monster in your deck is 3,000 attack. And then on top of that, you have a bunch of XYZ monsters that can absolutely wreck an opponent's board and their life point count very easily. But let's just get into it. We're going to play, like I said, the going second Blue Eyes. First of all, we are playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon because you always play 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Play your favorite artworks. Yeah, definitely Blue Eyes, very important in the deck. You recycle it multiple times. I have no problem opening this. I have no problem searching this. Blue Eyes is never a problem for this deck. So definitely playing 3 copies of that. Next, we are playing 2 copies of Alternative Eyes. You no longer have to play 3, simply because, 3 alternatives is just simply... It just doesn't need to happen. You don't need to play 3 copies of Alternative, just because Alternative is searchable with 2 different cards now, so you can potentially have 6 copies. On top of that, we have an unbelievable amount of draw power in this deck, and this card is once per turn. Like, the summoning is once per turn, so there's really no point to play more than 2, because you start seeing multiple copies, you just don't need them. So we play definitely one of the 2 that. Then we play 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of White. Finally, this card is making a comeback. Actually, just reminded me, if you guys want to see combos, not for this particular deck, but I'm planning to make some sort of a combo video for Blue Eyes in general. I think maybe a small compilation of various combos that you can do in Blue Eyes. But if that's something that you guys want to see, let me know. I have a few different Blue Eyes builds. Maybe I'll compile it all in one single video, and you guys can see all of that all at once. And yeah, let's continue here. We've got the Spirit of White. Then we play 3 copies of the White Stone of Legend. This card is extremely good in Blue Eyes when you're playing the Dangers, because I did bring back like the Dangers and stuff. It's really good with the Dangers simply because the Dangers, let's say for example with the Dangers you discard a copy of White Stone, and you get to special summon the Danger, you get to draw a card, and then on top of that you get to search your Blue Eyes. So you completely replace any sort of card. You actually go +1 every time you resolve a Danger, and it hits a White Stone of Legend. And on top of that, when you search the Blue Eyes to hand, you have cards like Trade-In and Alternative Eyes and stuff like that that can help utilize the card, the Blue Eyes, once it gets into your hand, so it's not a dead card by any means. Next, we play 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. It's searchable, and all of its effects are once per turn. You summon it once, and that's pretty much it. Then we play 1 copy of Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. Again, a very, very useful card. It replaces regular Chaos Emperor Dragon. But basically, it gets a banished dragon back, and it special summons itself, and then sometimes you can actually use it to conclude a game. That doesn't come up as often. Next, we play 1 copy of Chaos Creator. The reason we play this is it's searchable off of the Chaos Space card, and obviously it's good for those purposes, just because you can summon it, and then you can, like any other Chaos monster, banishing a light and a dark, and then you can target banished monsters, and then special summon 1. Which is pretty useful. Then we've got 1 copy of Arch Nemesis Eschatos. Arch Nemesis Eschatos. He's very good. He's another card that's searchable. He actually has the exact same stats as Blue Eyes, although not the same level. Basically summon him by banishing 3 different types, which is extremely easy to do. It's not even a concern, because we're playing so many different types with all the Dangers and all of the other cards that I'm going to be showing you. We play so many different types. We play dragons, machines. We play a little bit of everything. So he's extremely easy to summon. And on top of that, he pops cards and locks your opponent out of stuff, which is pretty useful. Then we play 1 copy of Gizmek Orochi. This is another level 8. You're sacrificing cards off the top of your deck. We play all of the cards that we actually need out of our deck in multiples, so it really doesn't matter. And you can bring it out during the battle phase. You can bring it out during your opponent's turn. You can pop cards. It's really good. Like, we play multiples of everything. We don't have any cards in our deck where if we banish, we cannot play. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're okay. Like, if we banish, it doesn't matter. We don't have anything in there that, like I said, that we need for a combo. So it's just perfect for the deck. Then we play 2 copies of the all-new Alpha, the Master of Beasts. This card is extremely good. I might even bump it up to 3, like it's really that good. So basically what this card does is it's like Pankratops, but it's brand new. It's a lot better. If your opponent controls more attack monsters in terms of their attack value, you can special summon this card from your hand. That is not once per turn, and it's a summoning condition. So just right off the rip, this card actually beats Dragoon, because you can special summon it, because obviously they have 3,000 attack monster, you have nothing, you special summon it, and then you can just crash with Dragoon if you want to, and get rid of it that way. But the reason this card is so good is that it special summons itself for free, and then you can go to battle phase, attack, get rid of one monster, then it has another effect on it, where you can bounce Beast Warrior, and Wing Beast monsters back to your hand in order to bounce that many amount of monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And the reason that this card is so good for this is because it once you bounce it to your hand, it doesn't target. First of all, it doesn't target, and once you bounce it to the hand, that first summoning effect is actually not once per turn. So you can actually re-summon the monster again, and it's a level 8, and then you can go into like a rank 8 play, for example. So you can potentially get rid of like 3 cards with this, because you can special summon it, attack over a monster, main phase 2 bounce another card to your from your opponent's side of the field, then special summon it again, and then make a Dingirsu, and then like send a card to the graveyard. So it's actually very good for those various purposes, because it special summons itself multiple times. Yeah, which is just sick. It really is. Then we've got 2 copies of Bigfoot. Probably should bump that up to 3, but me particularly, I struggle more against back row decks, so I play 3 Thunderbirds and 2 Bigfoots, although you can interchange those values if you wanted to. But yeah, 2 Bigfoots and 3 Thunderbirds. They both do the same thing. All Dangers do the same thing. Basically, Bigfoot pops face-up cards when it's discarded, and the Thunderbird pops face-down cards. But you probably know how Dangers work by this point. Play 1 copy of Jackalope, 1 copy of Nessie, and 1 copy of Mothman. I don't play the Tsuchinoko. I actually think Mothman is a little bit better for this deck overall. But that is all the Dangers we play. Then, for the Synchro combo, we play 3 copies of the Almighty Righty Driver, one of my favorite cards ever, and 1 copy of Lefty Driver. This card, basically, Righty Driver allows you to go, like, it allows you to get to Needle Fiber, and Needle Fiber plus Righty Driver is like, one Righty Driver will basically get you a free... One Righty Driver will basically get you any Link 4 for free. On top of getting you any Link 4 for free, it can actually just spit out... Yeah, like, it'll get you a Saryuja, or the newest Code Talker monster, whose name I just randomly forgot. Access Code Talker. It can get you an Appaloosa, Saryuja, anything like that. It gets you any of those just with 1 normal summon, and we actually don't play any normal summons in the deck outside of the Righty Driver. And Righty Driver is a little bit better just because Righty Driver can special summon Lefty Driver from your hand graveyard or deck. So I like it a lot for that reason. And then on top of that, you can banish the Lefty Driver out of the graveyard, and then add a Righty Driver, which is really cool because it helps you like stack up on resources the following turns for Dangers and discard fodder, basically. But yeah, I just think for this particular deck, it's better to play this than other sorts of Needle Fiber starters. Then we play a copy of Plague Spreader Zombie because Jet Synchron is banned, so this has to be the replacement. And we play 3 copies of the Psyframe Gamma for our hand traps, and 1 copy of Psyframe Driver. I think in going second decks, this is actually one of the best hand traps that you can possibly play, because it negates and destroys, and that is pretty impactful. It's like a Solemn Strike, like honestly. It's like a Solemn Strike on during their turn. And then if you use this during your turn, you actually, this is a tuner, this is a non-tuner, you actually have just perfectly enough to summon a Crystron Needle Fiber, which is really cool. So if you use it during your turn, you get to negate and destroy Ash, and then on top of that, you get to use these guys to summon a Needle Fiber. So it's super cool. Or in your opponent's turn, obviously, it negates destroy. It's very, very powerful. I actually like the card quite significantly. Next, we play 3 copies of Trade-In. Very important. Trade-In is an extremely important card. It's obviously draw power, everything you need. Then we play 2 copies of Chaos Space for our Searchers, and 2 copies of Melody. I think it's kind of like the perfect ratio. You see at least one of them every single time. Then we play 1 copy of Successor Soul. This is one of the newer cards. Actually, again, I like it quite a bit. All you have to do is tribute an effect monster, and then you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, and we do play going second deck, which makes it very good. And then you basically send your opponent's monster to the graveyard, and then you can special summon a normal monster from your hand or deck, which is very, very useful. So basically you get to tribute a monster, like a stone, for example, and it is a quick play, so it's very useful for that purpose. Because sometimes your opponent will target something, like let's say you summon a righty driver and you activate the effect, and then they have like Warlord Savage Dragon, and they activate the effect to negate it. You can use this quick effect out of your hand to tribute the righty driver, target some other monster that they have on their side of the field, and then you get to special summon a Blue Eyes. So you basically get to out a bunch of negates very, very easily, which I like a lot. On top of that, it throws a giant monster on the field too. On top, it sends a monster to the graveyard, and it throws a Blue Eyes on the ground. Then we play, this is making its grand return, Return of the Dragon Lords. I have not had this in my Blue Eyes decks in a long, long time, but recursion is actually very important in this particular build, so it's good to have. Basically, if you make if you get 2 level 8s on the field, you basically win. But yeah, definitely playing that. And then we got 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Just a good kind of generic out card, or generic extender. Now, for the extra deck, we play 1 copy of Metal Marcher. This is needed for the needle fiber stuff. That's basically the only reason we're playing it. Then we play 1 copy of Relinquished Anima, 1 copy of Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, 1 copy of Crystron Needle Fiber, 1 copy of Linkross, 1 copy of Access Code Talker, 1 copy of Linkuriboh, 1 copy of Saryuja Skulldread, and let me see, is there anything in there that's worth... Yeah, basically 1 righty driver will get you into this, which will get you into the Metal Marcher, the Linkross, and then it'll get you to either Appaloosa, Access, or Saryuja. You get to basically choose what you want to do with those. But we play those. Now for the XYZ monsters, and this is sort of the exciting part. Basically, the new card that's really, really good for this deck is the Divine Arsenal Aezus. This card is extremely good because all you have to do is declare an attack with any XYZ monster, and you can basically special summon this effect. Special summon this from your extra deck by overlaying it over that XYZ monster, and then you can detach two cards from the from this in order to send all cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. So that is wild because it helps really break boards. Like I said, this is a going second deck, and now this card just wrecks boards. Like it's absolutely disgusting. In combination with everything else that we're playing, it's actually really, really good. So the next sort of brokenish card that we're playing is number 97, Dragludian. Also a very good card. Dragludian basically lets you summon a monster from your extra deck, a number dragon monster from your extra deck, and then you can basically summon a number monster, and then underneath it you have to place another number monster as material. So you can basically do it like that. And also the number 97 cannot be targeted. So you get to basically cheat and special summon a monster from your extra deck that you typically wouldn't be able to summon. And the best ones to summon are number 92, Hard Earth Dragon. It typically requires 3 level 9s, which you wouldn't be able to do, but because of Dragludian cheating, you can basically be able to do it. This basically, during your opponent's end phase, you get to banish their entire field, which is pretty cool. Then we play 1 copy of number 100. This is one of the best OTK enablers, simply because you can detach a material from this card and then gain 1,000 attack times the number of ranks on the field. So if you summon this off of, for example, the Dragludian, the number 97, let's say you just summon this monster right here, you detach a material from this, which is the one you attach from this, and basically this becomes a 9,000 attack monster. Just having 2 level 8s gets you to a 9,000 attack monster. On top of that, if you were to have, for example, let's say for example you had another level 8, like Hope Harbinger Dragon, for any reason, if you had another level 8, this would actually go to 17,000 attack, which is just crazy. All you'd have to do is summon 4 level 8s and you have 17,000 attack on board, which is not difficult to do with all those cards that I showed you in this deck. But let's continue from there. Then we play 1 copy of 38 to negate spells and stuff and create a lightning rod, one copy of number 90, because it negates effects, one Dingirsu, one Hard Earth Dragon, and one, I already showed you, the Divine Zeus. So I guess I showed you that twice. But that is pretty much it. That's all we've got for today. That is a Going Second Blue Eyes with the Ready Driver back in style. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because I really need it for the channel. And thank you for watching, guys.